back, we continue talking about the Steelers and what happened today. They get a big win, 7-4. Couple that with Cleveland's loss to Denver. And what about the Broncos? All of a sudden, the Steelers jump Cleveland. I want to talk about Deontay Johnson. We started this conversation about this replay situation. Will, the very next play is a fumble, rare fumble for the Steelers these days, but it was a dangerous play. Connor Hayward made a beautiful tackle. Deontay Johnson didn't seem to be interested. Now, he said he never saw it. Should he not play to the whistle, though, if you're on the field?
If you watch the plays, and this is, to me, Pickens is more guilty of this than Deontay is. When Pickens is not the primary guy, or if the ball is not run to his side, I mean, it's looking like me on a treadmill. Like, I don't really even want to be doing this. Okay? I mean, like, that's what he looks like. So I think that, like, we can kill Deontay for one play. I think historically he's got a bigger body of work to use.
But the ball's bouncing on the turf.
I mean, yes, he should have seen it, and I was like, "What are you?" I think that he thought that he was down. That would be my guess.
Go back and watch the play.
It looked like he was down.
All the offensive linemen stopped playing. It was because the camera was on Deontay that he became the focal point of that. Now, thank goodness, who made the tackle? Hayward?
Connor Hayward.
Someone did down the field, but everybody around Deontay thought that play was over.
But how about
it's unfair for me? It's unfair to rip him on that play.
Joe, how about from the very beginning of the play though? His head's not even in the play.
Right.
It's even when the play happening.
Like Charles Davis said on TV, I don't know if he was supposed to be a decoy on that play and act like, I don't know what he was doing at the beginning of the play.
The receivers have not excelled in run situation, in run blocking. Sometimes, occasionally, you'll see George had a good chip. I think it was.
So you don't think there's any carryover from the previous play with him? That he thinks he just dropped the touchdown and he's not invested.
That's kind of what
I do. I don't know. The part that I won't rip him for is not reacting to the fumble, because when you go back, you'll see it. All the offensive linemen stop playing. Everybody basically stopped playing.
Isn't it fair to criticize all of them?
Yeah, criticize all of them.
I mean, I don't think that it should just
I guess it seemed obvious to me that the play was over. They all thought that.
The sideline was going like this during the play, like Kurtz or whatever, Kuntz, the long snapper, you could see him walking out on the field.
Anytime the ball comes,
indicating what? That the ball
that he was down and it wasn't a fumble.
Yeah,
so
I think everybody thought that.
But as a player, you should listen.
Come on, I mean, anytime the ball's out and there's no whistle, you got to keep playing.
Ideally, yes, but you see, when the whistle
there are a lot of
goes,
examples of that around the league, and if you don't hear it, keep playing. Look around.
Well, he heard it, maybe.
Maybe he did. All right, Pat Freiermuth. Will, kind of weird here. Last week, 1 target. Now it was his first game back, and that's what Mike Tomlin said afterwards. Today, all of a sudden, he was the go-to guy. To me, there was a freedom there, it seemed to me, from Kenny Pickett going into the middle of the field, especially looking for him. Instead of checkdowns, he was the guy he was.
I think so, but I also think that, is it fair, I don't know if you guys think about this, that, the Steelers did something very un-Steeler-like on Tuesday when they fired Canada, when they made an in-season move of this magnitude. And I think that put everybody on notice, everybody, including 8, including 88. And, if you're Faulkner and Mike Sullivan, what's the worst that can happen? You lose your job and whatever. This is their – so I think, it was almost like they snapped too. I don't know I think Kenny's mindset to y'all's perspective, he seemed freer, but he also was like, I've got to not suck anymore. I've got to show progress, and I think that having AD at there helped. I don't think it was specific to that. I think it was more of a general we got to go, and we got to go now. I think that was a message because of what they did on Tuesday.
Well, I think I could understand why he trusts Freiermuth, and it's really been a mystery and a conundrum to me when the guy's been healthy, why he hasn't been more involved in the offense. We're just talking about Deontay Johnson and George Pickens, how their effort isn't there 100% of the time. We know Pat's not a great blocker, but he's a pretty reliable target. So it would make sense to me, if you're looking to change your offense, that he would be someone that you look to involve more, especially in that middle of the field area.
They changed their offense. Tomlin acknowledged that after the game, said we did things different schematically. I mean, from the first play, sometimes fans,
they said no wholesale changes. There were wholesale changes.
Sometimes fans and media are right. Sometimes the obvious is what's happening. Matt Canada was a horrible offensive coordinator, almost an amateur. It sounds mean to say, but people who watch film for a living like Merrill Hodge would basically label him as such. The fans were right. The media was right. He had to go. It's unbelievable what happened today from the very first play.
But the first play against the Jaguars was the same play. It was Freiermuth down the seam for 15, 20 yards. So let's not pretend that it wasn't in the playbook.
Yeah, but then there were about 15 more today.
They did it consistently, which is different.
Right. He was the leading target man, without a doubt, and the #1 receiver for this team today. Let's talk about the Steelers defense real quick. because they were outstanding in this game, Andrew. And you look at what they did, everyone knew that they're going to run the ball, so they basically said, we're going to stop it and put the game in Browning's hands. Have they played better than you thought, given all the injuries from Minka to Neal to the two inside linebackers? I think they have.
I don't know about that. I don't know if they've played better. Look, I mean, I think that Mike Tomlin, up until today, the whole deal was win us the game every single week. And given the amount of money they've invested in the defense, even with injuries, you have TJ Watt out there every game day, and we see what a difference that guy makes when he's healthy. So I think that's the expectation. I'm not going to lower the bar for them because they've got a few injuries. They should hold a team with a backup quarterback making his first career start under 20 points.
And last week they had another backup quarterback too, so they had
That's all they have.
But still, they have to do the things, and they stopped the running game. Two good teams that like to run the football were stopped, period.
Yeah, they did what they should do, no matter who's in or who's out. They're facing Jake Browning. And now look, Mac Jones got benched again. He's coming up soon. Kyler Murray had a rough game. He's coming up. Minshew.
That's going to be coming up.
This is what they should do.
Right.
I mean, I think their margin for error is so small. Like, that's part of the – and let's not pretend that they're facing Tua and Mahomes and Hurts and even, Josh Allen. I mean, poor Joe, sorry.
Poor Joe. That was
so let's not pretend that they're stopping a murderer's row. But the problem is, like, they have to only allow 10 points because the offense is scoring 13. And let's remember last week they let a first-year rookie go down the field with 2 minutes left. So,
all right,
but they won the game, and TJ's a freak. I mean, by the way, any blocking scheme that has where 90 is in front of you,
well, first of all,
and you
Chris
block
Oak
the other
thought it was
guy, needs to be.
miscommunication. He thought they screwed up. It wasn't so much him; the other guys miscommunicated twice. I don't know.
And Cam looks like himself again now. Today he was
really good.
Yeah,
he always
really
goes
good.
with Bengals.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about what lies ahead. How many wins? How many teams do you think the Steelers will be favored over in the remaining games? We'll talk about that next.